Hey everyone, my name is Tanya and welcome back to the channel. Today I am back with a pretty exciting build for me and possibly you if you are a fan of the show Doctor Who. I have been a pretty big Whovian for many years now and it's been on my to-do list to build the TARDIS in The Sims 4, but there are a couple of reasons why that's a little bit difficult. For those of you who are not familiar with the show, there is a character called the Doctor who is an alien who travels through time and space in their time machine, which is called the TARDIS, which stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space. And the weird thing about it is it's bigger on the inside, which doesn't make a lot of sense in The Sims 4. So it's always been a, how do I do this? Also, how do I make it look as accurate as possible to the actual show? And I, a while ago, decided I would probably just have it parked right outside of a building, so it's leaning up against it. So it looks small on the outside, but the entirety of the interior of the building is actually the TARDIS. And so that's what I went with today. And also, I'm so glad I waited years to do this because some of the pieces that are meant to be part of Oga's Cantina in the Star Wars pack worked really nicely to create that more round shape of the interior of the TARDIS. So I did use those. I used the smaller pieces that are, I think, meant for the DJ, though, not to the larger pieces, because the larger pieces had some, like, lanterns hanging off them that I didn't really want. So I placed those down first and, like, drew a shell of a building around it. And now I'm working on the exterior of the actual TARDIS, which is meant to look like a police box from the 1960s, as originally the Doctor had been using something in the TARDIS that allows it to camouflage into its surroundings, and the show had started in that time frame, and it got stuck at some point in time. So for a really long time, it was stuck looking like a phone box. I'm pretty sure that got fixed at some point in time, but the Doctor grew fond of what it looks like, and so we always have the TARDIS looking like a phone box. It changes a little bit on the exterior from Doctor to Doctor. There'll be like additional pieces on the outside. I believe there's a circle. I can't remember what it says right now with the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. But the version I am building of the TARDIS today is based on the 9th and 10th Doctors TARDIS, Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant. David Tennant is probably my favorite Doctor, and Christopher Eccleston was my first Doctor. I have seen all of the new series and big chunks of the original series, but not all of them. And I've been really inspired to do this right now because I'm sure a lot of you who watch Doctor Who or have in the past have heard, and if you haven't, very exciting news. Russell T Davies is returning as the showrunner. If you don't know what I'm talking about or who that is, basically the person that runs the show for like how it runs and a lot of the writing and stuff currently is somebody named Chris Chibnall, who has only been here for the current Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. Before that, for Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, we had Stephen Moffat, who, questionable, I think he's a good writer. He's had a lot of really cool episodes. But my favorite era of Doctor Who was definitely Russell T Davies, who covered David Tennant's era as well as Christopher Eccleston's. And he's returning for the next season with a new Doctor, and I'm very excited about it. And so I've been like talking a lot about Doctor Who lately and like things I would like to see and like reminiscing about this era of the show in particular, specifically Eccleston and David Tennant. And I've been planning to like rewatch that era because I really like it. So I wanted to recreate that version of the TARDIS in the game, and it's got like the basics so it looks blended in on the outside, and then the inside I have the basics with a couple of little nods to things that happened in the show. But I wanted to keep it pretty open, so if you decide to download this and you want to play in it, you could add things you'd like if you want to add a library or a swimming pool or what have you. Those are things you could definitely add, but I decided just to focus on the console room for this particular build. I also added a bathroom just because I thought it'd be helpful, but that's really it for the interior. But the outside is a big box because it looked less awkward than like a large shape. I can't think of what shape is it an octagon? I think. I can't remember how many sides the inside of this TARDIS has, but a box looks a little bit more normal. And I did build this in Myshuno, so it's meant to fit in kind of here. I feel like it could fit in the world of Brightchester or in Henford-on-Bagley as well. I just wanted to focus on like a little town area, and I thought this lot was a pretty good size. So this is where I built it, but could probably fit in a lot of locations. And I will have it available on the Sims 4 gallery if you'd like to download it. It is available under my EIID, which is Gryphi, GRYPHI. You can also find it under the hashtag MissGryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So right now I'm still working on the outside, trying to get some landscaping and trying to make this look really built into its surroundings. There's lots of planter boxes on all of these windows. I just wanted it to look, lively and like an actual place that exists. And the TARDIS just happens to be parked there. You don't need to know that if you go in there, the entire inside is the TARDIS. That's fine. And actually how I have your Sims enter, because this side, I didn't have doors. I put the door like around the corner of the TARDIS so that your Sims enter from the side. So that's how I did that. Anyway, we're inside now. I have a platform in the middle of the room. That is where I end up putting the console, and I used a lot of items from Journey to Batuu. The Star Wars pack came in so much handy with this build. Obviously those rounded pieces around, and then I used this, which was like something revolving around the First Order, I think, or the Resistance. Like you have to do some sort of gameplay around this in that pack, but I thought it would be a good piece to base the middle of the console off of. And I added a bunch of other pieces to like stack it up and make it look more realistic. It's not perfect. It's definitely not the right shape. But I thought it was pretty reminiscent of what there is in the show. So that is what I ended up going with in the end. And also all of the wires hanging from the ceiling. Oh, that made me so happy because those are very much present in the show. And now we're getting to the most tedious and time-consuming part of this entire build, covering the interior of the TARDIS with round things. I love the round things, but they were a lot of time-consuming placement, and I eventually did use Tool for some of it, and Better Build By to duplicate things, but basically I used these vents from Batuu, turned them around, scaled them down and raised them up, and then I put these lights that are some of the ones you can create with the fabrication skill, I'm pretty sure, in Eco Lifestyle, and right now they're white, but I'm going to be changing them to yellow. Here they are. And I think this fits the style a lot better. And I love how the round things came out. That is what I feel like made the whole build come together and like really feel like we were inside the TARDIS. So I'm going to be spending a little bit of time here placing down a lot of the round things and showing the process before I started using Tool, and also before Better Build By, because I had to keep grabbing them individually from the catalog. And then I did a lot of it off camera just because it was tedious and repetitive, and I didn't think it was necessary to see all of it. And you can kind of see when you get closer to each area, it'll disappear so you see what's behind it. That makes it easier for gameplay. Just keep that in mind because you'll be able to see like the windows and stuff that are the exterior of the building. But generally speaking, this is going to be pretty friendly for Sims gameplay. There's not going to be too much in the way. You can't do the interactions that are on the bottom part of the console that are part of Star Wars because it's up on that platform. But if you'd like to be able to do the couple of things that are associated with that, you could just remove that platform that is sitting on. But I wasn't trying to make this a functional space because there's not a whole lot you can do in game that makes sense for the TARDIS. I just wanted it to be like the set dressing, and your Sims could walk around in here. You could do some storytelling, and there's definitely space to add some things if you would like to for your own gameplay, and have various things your Sims can do in this space. I think it's really cool. But right here I am using Tool. I went through debug and went through so many items trying to figure out what I wanted to use as these sort of columns that are a little bit more natural looking on the inside. And the items I wanted to use, actually, you couldn't rotate with Tool. They did not work. But these particular pieces of like driftwood worked really nicely. So I ended up using these to connect. And then I'm just adding more pieces in the middle here. We have like a computer set up. And then I thought this was a fun little nod. I grabbed this jar from Star Wars and I put a hand inside it, the one from Paranormal. I was thinking this could be the Metacrisis Doctor hand. So that is what that is. And there's just a couple little nods here and there. That's the main one. Another thing I put in here just because I thought it was cute and it makes me sad. And I very much am a pro 10 and rose. I put a single rose on the console a little bit later, which I thought was really cute. And I thought about adding some sort of invitation or something to a wedding as like a nod to Donna, but like I couldn't find what I was looking for and I wasn't sure what to add for Martha. I also thought about trying to figure out a way to build like K9 or something to be something fun to add in here, but I didn't think there was going to be a great way to do that and it wouldn't come out as well. I wanted to keep it pretty open, like I said, for whatever gameplay you would like to use it for, but I thought the couple of extra nods here and there would be fun, particularly the hand. That was the one I was the most excited about. But right now I'm just adding some more of these wires and then we're working on this little bathroom. It is so simple. I was like, I don't know why I'm adding this. I feel like I should add this. So I did. It's just a toilet, a shower, and a sink. And I actually put a vase of roses in here as well because I loved rose. Anyway, that's it for the bathroom. Just getting a vent. I didn't add toilet paper. I don't know why. But that's the bathroom that I don't know why I decided to add. And then I just grabbed a couple of like crates and random things to put around as well. And that's really it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really does help me out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy the screenshots and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.